Finally, the ancient warrior resumed his tale. It was a long 12 years. I was alone, waiting here for signs of Dracula's return. But all I ever saw were Turkish marauders ravaging the countryside of this once beautiful land and tormenting the people. One thing kept me from despair. The last words I had heard from my lord, that he would return in the end. I repeated these words to myself every day and promised myself that he would succeed. It was a fool's hope, but it was the best that I had. So I endured. Dracula had preserved enough food and water in the castle to last an entire army several years. I had begun to think that he would never return. But rumor among the locals told me differently. When I overheard the same as I spied on Turkish patrols, I became more confident. I shuddered at the sight of the land that he would return to. One day, I awoke to the thundering of hooves and the frenzied war cries of soldiers pouring down from the Carpathians. It was Dracula, at the head of a Hungarian army, come at last to liberate us from the yoke of the Turks and their Wallachian puppet, Basarab Leota. Dracula achieved victory at last, and the invaders fled before him. Rallying his men, he charged the enemy ranks with an unspeakable vengeance that emboldened his army. A decisive victory was near, but it was at that hour that Dracula's luck. A volley of arrows whistled through the air and struck Dracula in the chest, knocking him from his horse. The Turks easily routed our leaderless forces. Our chance to drive them out vanished. The occupation resumed, and the survivors despair. The memory of a great man endures forever. As a token of gratitude, I invited our host to join us in a pilgrimage to the monastery at Snagaf to pay our respects to Dracula's grave. Tears running down his face, the elderly man could do naught but